All right, well, as part of the show here at JW Hills in Manchester, we've been interviewing a bunch of basketball coaches and players in preparation for the 2011-2012 season. And now we're going to switch gears a little bit and give some coverage to a sport that doesn't get a lot of coverage, whether it's on the New Hampshire Notebook or any other media outlet. We're talking with Dylan Lafond, a cross-country runner and track runner who's just recently, Dylan, I understand you were named the NHIAA's Runner of the Year. Talk about that accomplishment and the meet you were able to win and how you were able to achieve that.
Well, I just basically started running like my junior year when I transferred to Central. And I mean, to me, my goal was just to win the division championship. And after I won that, I won states, and that blew me away. And then at New England, I did top 5, which was just like off the charts to me. And then after that race, I was selected to be one of the top 50 in the nation, which was also crazy. But I mean, it's just the training and what my coaches has been doing with me. It's been a real good to change to Central and stuff.
So you mentioned that you just started running as a junior, correct? And talk about that transition, because I mean, for me, I actually I ran track as a sophomore in high school, and I just, going from not really doing it to doing it, the pacing of knowing, it's not an all-out sprint like if you're sprinting, but you don't want to jog because then you'll come in last. I mean, it's not easy to find that balance. And talk about that in the beginning, and finally, obviously, you're able to get that balance pretty good, so you're winning meets.
Yeah, I don't know, like it was like a real big start with me. The training and running is really like a pretty good part is physical, but a lot of it is mental. Like you said, you got to pace yourself. You don't want to go out for the full sprint, or you might get tired, and you don't want to jog and get behind. I mean, as you start running, you get locked into the training and what you got to do during races. Mental is very big. So I mean, pacing yourself is really good to do it during races and things.
And what was the toughest part of adjusting to a runner, when you first got into it?
Definitely the mileage, for sure. For me, and I can speak for a lot of runners, is in the beginning of the day, the hardest thing with training is just getting out of the door. I mean, getting out of bed early morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 12-mile run. It's, you don't want to do it, but the biggest thing, like I said, is just getting out of the door. And once you start getting into the habit of doing these things, you start feeling how fit you get, how good you're doing in races. So like I said, it's just really getting out of the door. So
they call that runner's high, right? Yeah. And on a typical day now that you're obviously at this level that you are as a runner, how many miles a day do you run?
The average is like 6 to 7 miles, but during the cross-country season I did around 55 to 60 miles, and my coach sees the potential that I have to start going into the collegiate, starting to train, so I think I'm going to bump it up to like 70 miles a week, so we'll see.
10 miles a day, boy, I can't imagine that. And I asked you about, when you first got into running, how the obstacles you had, and obviously you were able to make that transition from, you got into it and became a good runner, and then you went from being a pretty good runner, this is all right, to being an elite runner. How were you able to, and at what point were you able to take that step and really develop, your ability as a runner, and when you said, oh, wow, I'm pretty good at this, and you really got the hang of it?
Yeah, coming from my junior year, transferring to Central was huge. I had like a good coach that actually cared about how good I was doing. My junior year, the biggest thing for a cross-country runner in the fall is to train in the summer, which is really hard. But my junior year, I didn't really train in the summer, and I did fairly well. And then I came back having my goal to win the division championship. I trained my butt over the summer. I mean, that's huge to a runner, a sprinter, anything. You got to put in the time and the effort to come out and be as good as you're expected to be. So I mean, the toughest challenge was definitely getting out of the door, like I said, in the summer, running in 90-degree weather or whatever, cold, rainy, snowy. You just got to get out. So
you mentioned you started running as a junior. Was it a transition from focusing more on basketball to running? Because obviously you played basketball at Trinity, transferred over to Central, you played basketball at Central, and it seemed like you're pretty serious into basketball. At what point did you transition? And now, obviously, it seems like you're focusing more on running.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing basketball all my life, and last year into this year, I finally found my potential and what lies ahead for me as a runner. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and you got to look into the future. I mean, you still got 4 more years of college, and then after that you want to find a good job. I've gotten offers from colleges and stuff, and I think that's the best way to go for me, because how much college costs these days. So I think what lays in the future for me is better to go with running. So I mean, I think I'm just going to run in college.
And so you're not going to be playing basketball this year for Central. And last year you played for Central. You were a key player on a team that made it to the semifinals. Was it a tough decision to you would have been a senior this year? You mentioned you've been playing basketball your whole life. Was that a tough decision to not play for the Little Green this season?
Oh yeah, very, very tough decision. Multiple talks with my family, my father. I mean, it's just like, it's really hard for me because I've been playing all my life. Transitioning into a sport that takes a lot of effort and time. With basketball, you train and you train and you train, and you see like your jumper getting better, you see your agility getting better. But with running, it's like you start and it's like years and years and years of training. You can't really take days off. I mean, with basketball, I mean, how much I loved it. It was just like, it was a really hard decision for me. And but running is for me, I guess.
How do you think the Central team is going to do this season? Obviously, they're going to miss you not having you in the backcourt, along with Gable Count and all those guys. How do you think the team's going to do?
I think they picked up a lot of height, but I think the thing with them is learning the game of basketball. They have a few players on their team that hasn't really played for a school or organized basketball, I should say. So I think they have a really good shot at doing well this year, but it's going to take some time in the gym.
You feel like running and cross country is a sport that doesn't get enough respect in the media, and does that bother you at all? That I mean, not a lot of people might know that you're such a gifted runner and have gotten to this level. But everybody knows who all the best basketball players and football players are in the state. But people might not know about who the best runners are.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because like not even New England in general, running is getting really big. I mean, there's a lot of money out there for runners. It's getting really big, and the media is getting there. The union leader just finally gave cross-country men's and women like a full page, actually. So I mean, the media in New Hampshire, there's a lot of websites out there that are opening up now, videotaping. I mean, Foot Locker has been with running for a while now, so I think the media is getting there. In a few years, I think it might not be as big as football and basketball, but it's getting there.
You feel like basketball helped you as a runner? Because I mean, especially your style of play, you're always running up and down the floor, pressuring defenses on defense and pressing full court, constantly just in motion. I'm sure that helped you in your transition to running.
Yeah, it definitely helped. I mean, multiple of my friends that run now, like me, started my junior year. There's a few from BG and stuff that has come from other like athletics, like basketball and lacrosse and things like that, and I think it helps a lot with the muscles in your legs and the agility that you get, and playing those, running like soccer and lacrosse and things, you have to have endurance as well to play. So I think coming from another sport definitely strengthens your running abilities for sure.
And again, this is Dylan Lafond from Manchester Central High School, the NHIAA Runner of the Year. And Dylan, last question before we let you go. You mentioned that you have some schools that have made some scholarship offers to you. Who are some of the schools that you're considering, and have you made a decision yet where you're going to be going next year?
Right now I haven't made my decision, but there are a few schools like University of Connecticut, Providence College, UNH, Mount Olive in North Carolina, Clemson. So I do have a few options out there, but I think it's just a matter of if I like the school, if it fits me well, if I like the guys on the team. It's a pretty big factor with running, and any sport that you go in to a collegiate level, you got to like the guys and like the people that are doing it. So I got a few options.
And you still got some time to make your decision. Is there like a deadline of when you have to commit to a school by, or?
I know the signing date is February something. Is like the early February. So I do have some time left to go visit some schools. I haven't visited Providence or Clemson yet. So soon I'll be visiting them to see how I like it over there.
All right, that's Dylan Lafond, like we said, the NHIAA Runner of the Year. He's got some schools to choose from, that's for sure, as far as running goes, and we congratulate him, and thanks for joining us today, and best of luck at the next level with your running.
Thanks.
Thanks.